opportunistic, still rubbing panels as they go together. It's folded the wing mirror in on Gerardo's car.
Misano is such a difficult circuit for these guys to get right. There's a lot of start-stop sections around the back. It's a very, very quick section as well.
It's a fantastic start from the 23. They're 4 wide there by the look of it. Good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to the NEVO British F4 Series, and welcome to the final round of this wonderful championship. We're here at what, well, many of us can consider as the best circuit in the country, Oulton Park, this absolute mecca for motor racing. It is a wonderful, wonderful place, and I really hope that you are looking forward to watching all of this action tonight, because, of course, we have a championship to sort out, and the drivers involved in said championship will be Kane Halliburton, Håkon Grebstad. Jesper Sandström is mathematically in with a chance, but it's going to be difficult for him to get the points that he needs. Hello everyone, my name is Chaz Draycott, and I'm delighted to have alongside me once again the wonderful Edward May, who is going to be talking us through the final rounds of this championship. 3 more races tonight, Ed. Every single time we've had this championship on our screens, it's always been exciting, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah, it really has. And even though Kane Halliburton leads the championship, it's got to be the momentum going the way of Håkon Grebstad. He had an absolutely astonishing performance at Silverstone, his best of the season, where Kane Halliburton had probably one of his worst showings of the season. So did Spontex CDM Esports, but I'm sure they will be looking to put that behind them and come here for the final round of the season to try and secure the championship for their main man, Kane Halliburton. He's currently second fastest in practice, but you can't get much closer than they are currently. Håkon Grebstad and Kane Halliburton separated by virtually nothing.
They are indeed. Håkon Grebstad is currently on 153 points in the championship, 14 behind Kane Halliburton. There's 54 available tonight. You get a point for fastest lap in the race. That's in the heats and in the feature. You also get a point for pole position in the first race of the night as well. So it's going to be very, very close. You get 10 points for winning each of the first 2 heats, and then the feature race, you get 30 points for winning it. So there are plenty and plenty of points on offer tonight. And I mean, a very narrow circuit like this, Ed, overtaking is not something we see that often, but with this chicane that Håkon Grebstad has just been through now, without that here, we've got a massive slipstreaming opportunity. But again, in argument against myself straight away, the slipstream's not been that potent this season.
No, it hasn't, but I don't know, maybe that's been partly as well down to the drivers liking to save a bit of fuel, especially in those feature races. Saving fuel seems to be the strategy, because then you have a shorter pit stop, taking on less fuel, and that helps you a lot to try and get track position, and that is going to be crucial here at Oulton Park, as the track position is pretty much everything around this circuit.
Yeah, it really is, and qualifying is going to be so important. We wait for the drivers now to complete the session, but 13 thousandths of a second between the top two. We've got Matt Alexander back on our screens once again for Crockett Club Motorsport. He's got all of his wonderful friends and family watching again, I'm sure, this evening. Good evening to all of you. And we hope that you enjoy your night of viewing. Here's one of the Spontex CDM Esports cars, Dennis Gallo. Now, of course, there was a moment at the end of last race meeting, or in the last race, that the drivers all came together from this team and they all clattered into each other in wonderful ways. And I was left slightly bemused, but amused at the same time. So hopefully they don't do the same again tonight. But we'll have to see, I guess. That's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles, isn't it, Ed? You never know. You can hit anyone on the racetrack. It doesn't always have to be your teammate.
No, it doesn't, and hopefully you won't see any accidents. I know Oulton Park is a very narrow, tight technical circuit where we often do see little comings together, but fingers crossed we have a nice, clean evening's worth of racing here as we come into the last stages of practice. Watching for any other drivers that look like they might be trying to come to grips with the circuit. Toby Ward currently slowest on track with set a lap time. I think it is just a matter of getting to grips with this circuit. And we know that with the motorsport, while they don't seem to have good one-lap pace over the races, they can get some good results. I mean, Snetterton was a great example of that. They weren't necessarily the fastest cars, but seem to find themselves in good positions.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to survive in a league like this. That's the thing with open wheel racing. It can be so savage sometimes. The tiniest bit of contact can end somebody's race instantly. And that's often part of the art form of even just spectating these sorts of races. You know, you can be so nervous watching them because of how close it all gets. And I'm excited to see what these guys make of Oulton Park tonight. A lot of drivers love this place. Joachim Winkelhock, back in the mid-90s, described Oulton Park as a mini Nurburgring when he raced here in the British Touring Car Championship. And I know that a lot of other drivers agree with that point. It is very fierce. There's not a moment's rest around here either, because even when you come out of where we are here, which is the Island Hairpin, or the Shell Oils Hairpin as it's known, we'll go on board with John Susting. You'll see it's a very bumpy circuit, but it's not sudden, harsh bumps. They're all little, tiny sort of rises and crests. As he goes over Hilltop here, you'll see it's little, tiny bits. It's not smooth at all. Making his way down towards the Hislops chicane. As the back end steps out on the way in, and then he runs wide. And then this is Knickerbrook, the right-hander, at the bottom of the hill. As, very sideways, and then the other way for John Tusting. And off into the gravel he goes. Got Kimber Haight in the Flemish Sim Sports machine now, making his way past Britons and over Hilltop. Great to see the cars flying down there at maximum velocity. It's a lovely shot. It's not something you often see in the real world either, to be honest, is it, Ed? A lot of the time they always use the chicanes.
Yeah, they tend to, but as well, it's good to see that both the Flemish Sim Sports cars are here. They missed out last time out at Silverstone. Both, I think, of the drivers on holiday, but they're back now for the final round to try and sort of round out what has been a very successful season for them.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, we've always welcomed the Flemish Sim Sports squad on our teams, on our screens, I should say. They've always got very pretty cars. They're always a great bunch of guys as well. Thank you to everyone who's in chat as well, by the way. There's a number of you in there, and it's good to see some chat on Twitch as well. Dave Whitehouse over on Twitch, good to see you, mate. Thank you very much for your kind words. Jakub Szymanski saying good luck to all the drivers. Jakub, unfortunately, having issues this evening with his internet, so he will not be joining us on the circuit. We will have 15 drivers, including this man here, Justin Gerritsen, who hasn't put a time in just yet. Hopefully he will get one in before the end of the session. And there you go, 14th fastest, 131.8. 128.9 is a very, very good lap by Håkon Grebstad. It's not often that you see lap times around here that are quicker than 2 minutes, to be honest with you. We've got Abby Marchant in the chat saying, let's go Pricey. Simon Price racing for Spontex CDM Esports. We've got 3 of those cars out again tonight. 3 of the Hedgehogs. And this man as well, Philip Russell, in the Go for the Gap racing machine. Gorgeous livery on this car. I absolutely love it. I think it looks very, very tasty indeed. Just waiting to see what Philip can do tonight in terms of results, because we've seen before that he can be very quick in qualifying and in practice, but sometimes the races just don't go his way, do they, Ed?
Yeah, but some of the time the races have been going his way. I mean, in the past few rounds, he's managed to pick up his best result of the season. I think he finished second at, it was either Oulton Park or Silverstone, or even both, to be fair. He has been very, very quick in these past few rounds, and it's great to see a driver develop, haven't we, Chaz? We've seen him from his early days in the F3 series, where he had a bit of a nightmare in his debut round at Sebring, but that didn't seem to deter him. That he's been brilliantly fighting his way up through the field and getting a lot of pace while doing it. So it's good to see a driver as they develop. I mean, another example of that has been Carl Newen. We've seen him come from his F3 days and develop and get quicker and quicker. I mean, some of his performances in Formula One, even on your channel, Chaz, they've been really something to write home about. Really, really exciting to see all these drivers come in and watch them grow.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, even drivers like Craig Schill, who we've been watching in a number of different series. You know, Craig's been getting faster and faster all the time, and he's always enthusiastic about what he's racing and enjoying every single lap. And there's so many people out there that just put the time in and really get on with it, you know, and they learn to love the cars and the championships that they take part in, and it's just a wonderful thing to behold. So too is this. All the cars make their way out of the pit lane right now. Kane Halliburton, the first one to make his way out onto the track, and he is the current championship leader on 167 points, 14 points clear of Håkon Grebstad, who is the man directly behind him on the road right now. Now, slipstreaming, like I said, not always important in these things, but around this circuit with that long back straight and this run through Island Bend up towards the Shell Oils hairpin, it is going to be very important for these drivers. Let's go on board with Håkon Grebstad once again, see him fighting the wheel as the camber and all of the inclines and declines of the circuit change. If you're on a direct drive wheel around here, you'll be in for quite the tough time as he dips the clutch, gets ready to start fuel saving already. Look at how much they're attacking this chicane. Amazing weight transfer from these cars, and that's the thing, we've seen it a lot this season, haven't we? People flinging the car sideways and just floating it around corners.
I mean, look at the front end scraping actually there of Kane Halliburton's car. He's got this set up really low down. You can see the sparks actually coming off the front. Still, again, a very, very low car. I'm not sure if that's the same for you, Chaz, but I'm seeing loads of sparks coming off of Kane's car right now.
I'm not getting them on my screen, unfortunately, but maybe it's a connection-based thing. We'll have to wait and see, because sometimes it can be the case. It sounds like it's scraping. Can definitely hear it bottoming out.
Particle effect, potentially. I might have slightly more particle effects, which might make my PC not too happy about it. But there's just a huge shower of sparks coming from his car, showing that he's got it really quite stiff and quite low to the ground. So definitely a quality-minded setup. But how fun will that be to drive in the race? I'm not so sure, Chaz.
No, I've not got a clue, to be honest with you. Not a clue. Everyone putting in their first fast times now. We've got more chat. Howl Raven saying Price Power. Cheering on Simon Price. This man here in the number 64 Spontex CDM Esports machine. I asked Simon whether he wanted to run the livery when he said he didn't have a team for the season. And he was very happy to get picked up and run the colours. It's good to have him out there in the car. He joined us at Snetterton, I believe, for his debut in the championship. That seems like forever ago now, doesn't it, Ed? Snetterton, flipping out.
Really does, yeah. It just shows, though, that time does actually go by pretty quickly, and the rounds do go by pretty quickly as well. Relatively short season, but we've packed so much excitement and entertainment into it, haven't we, realistically? It's not like the lengths of these F3 seasons that we're used to here on NEVO, but oh my word, that was a little bit loosey-goosey from Simon Price, just dipping a couple of wheels onto the grass. But here we go, the first time's coming through, and Håkon Grebstad tastes first blood, doesn't he, as he goes fastest, top of the timing sheets, and Kane Halliburton invalidated his laps somewhere along that line because he is not set a time despite coming out ahead of Håkon Grebstad, crossing the line ahead of Håkon Grebstad, but got nothing to show for it so far.
No, that's the thing. I mean, what he's after is a dominant performance to really shatter the morale at the top of the order in this championship, and at the moment that's not what he's getting, I'm afraid. Dennis Gallo is the other of the Spontex CDM Esports cars. He is slowest of those that has put a time in so far. Well, I'll say that. John Tustin goes 6th fastest. He's behind Simon Price on the road. We've got his other fellow John Barnes out there as well. They have the only John's branding on the cars for Boosted Motorsport. Håkon Grebstad. 3 more purple sectors so far on this lap here, Ed. We're going to see a lot of this. With there being 7 sectors over the course of the lap, there's a lot of places where they can improve.
Yeah, but you can also get carried away with purple sectors. You can see that you're up in the first 3 and then decide to be a bit more conservative, and then all of a sudden, all of that time you worked so hard to get vanishes. That's what happened to me in Formula 1 at Monza. I had 3 amazing first sectors and then was far too conservative for the second half of the lap and lost all of that time. But we're not seeing anything conservative from Håkon here, are we? He's really close up behind Kane Halliburton now, and with that time that he's not actually showing, is he come up? Because for me, I don't see an improvement.
Well, he's gone 6/10 faster than Jesper Sandström and Kane Halliburton. 1:29.023 for Håkon Grebstad. Jesper Sandström next up, then Kane Halliburton is 3rd. Kevin Zemstra is 4th. We've not seen much of Kevin yet this evening. He's in the Alcantech NHR by Nyman racing machine. I've forgotten to sort his decal layer out actually for this one, but still it looks good on the car because he's got white numbers on it. That wouldn't work with our decal layer, so maybe it's for the better. Here's one of the 2 Go-Go Gadget racing machines, Raymond Wolpott and his teammate Justin Gerritsen, both running the Red Bull testing liveries effectively on their cars for the season. And right now, they have not put times in on the board yet. Neither has Toby Ward, actually, for Boosted Motorsports. Oh, that's not going to help Raymond. He goes deep into Lodge. And that's one of those corners, isn't it, Ed, that can catch even the best drivers out into there. You've got a big rise and then a dip as you go into the braking zone. Then all of a sudden after that, you're going over the crest as you get to the apex of the corner. It can be a real nightmare.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, Oulton Park drivers say it's like a mini Nurburgring. Others say it's like a roller coaster. You're going up and down, right and left. The G-forces that the drivers do have to endure, especially if you've got high downforce and have to chug it through Druids, can be really immense. But so far, so good if you are Håkon Grebstad. Maybe not for so long, though, because Kane Halliburton is joining him seemingly on the front row of the grid. I was just about to say how Jesper Sandström just ahead of Kane on the front row would be a bit of a blessing for Håkon, but, well, Kane is swiftly taken back 2nd place and got himself onto the front row. And we've seen, haven't we, Chaz, sometimes with front row starts, either side of the grid can make it work into turn 1. Oh,
yeah, definitely. There's definitely circuits around the UK more than anywhere else, really, where that can come into effect. You know, if you've got a chicane-like corner near the start, or if you've got, well, just a corner that goes one way and then another one following it rather quickly that goes the other. The first corner here, obviously, whoa! Philip Russell clips the grass and goes straight off the road. Matt Alexander is also off at Cascades. But I was going to say, the first corner here at Oulton Park, Old Hall, is a long sweeping right-hander, and you can use all of the road and go around the outside of people there. I've seen moves like that before, and it's very, very exciting when people manage to make it work. So I'm wondering whether we're going to see anybody trying that tonight, because people will surely defend the inside line. You've got to take a very, very late apex around turn 1. As Toby Ward comes back out of the pits. Raymond Wolpott and Justin Gerritsen still haven't put times in yet. Håkon Grebstad does another purple sector 6. I don't think he's going to go fastest with that attempt. Dennis Gallo is off. That's up the hill, that is. That's up Clay Hill on the exit of Knickerbrook. I'm wondering whether he's just dipped a wheel on the grass here, Ed.
Might have been on the exit here. We're going to have a look. No, he just loses. Does he slightly on the way in?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
just over the curbing, in fact, actually. The car gets a little bit unsettled, keeps the foot in it, and as it grips up again and sort of the weight changes as it bumps about on the suspension, that's just enough to send him around. But thankfully he doesn't actually clip the wall, which is fortunate for him. And maybe we'll be seeing more than a few drivers making that same little error in the race, because you are invited to push quite hard around here at Oulton Park, and it does punish you in the blink of an eye.
Oh yeah, that's it. It's a proper old school circuit like that, and that's why we all love it. You know, everyone except Martin Kenyon, by the sound of it. Martin saying in the YouTube chat, "I hate Oulton Park." I don't blame you. You know, it's a massive challenge around here, and it is one of those circuits that does bite you in the backside very quickly if you do not get it absolutely spot on. It is just grass and barrier either side of the circuit if you go off here, and you will suffer the consequences if you take the mick out of it. Kane Halliburton then, purple sector 5 as he comes into the double apex Druids. The cars float over the exit crest there, sideways, all four wheels. As purple sector's coming in from all of our drivers at the bottom of the screen right now. Kane Halliburton, Håkon Grebstad and Jesper Sandström. Kevin Zemstra is third at the moment.
Might have this.
Let's have a look. 29.415, that would have been 4 tenths off, and he does not improve. Jesper Sandström coming to the line in the background now as well. No slipstream for him in the 81 machine, and he does not improve, but Philip Russell goes 5th fastest. Philip improves, and he is just under 8 tenths off, but Håkon Grebstad at the moment doing everything he needs to do.
Does he have enough time to complete this lap though, Chaz? I don't think so.
I don't think he will.
I mean, looking at those last laps as well, Håkon Grebstad's time across the line was still enough for pole position, even though it was 2 tenths off. That's the mark of how quick he is around here. He is looking to try and snatch the championship that looks so commandingly in the grasp of Kane coming into those final 2 rounds. But this championship, we was always bound to have one last twist in the tail. What was it we were saying coming into Silverstone? Championship was easily wrapped up by Kane here tonight. But
yeah.
All of a sudden, coming into Oulton Park, it's turned on its head.
All Kane had to do at Silverstone was basically score 1 point, and he didn't actually manage it. Håkon Grebstad then takes pole position. That's 1 point more, which means he's now 13 behind in the championship. And that man that he is behind is Kane Halliburton, starting second on the grid. Kevin Zemstra and Jesper Sandström on row 2. Philip Russell and Hans Polmans make up row 3, ahead of Dennis Gallo and John Barnes on row 4. Then it's Kimber Hay and John Tusting next up. Following them is Simon Price and Raymond Walpott on the 6th row of the grid. Behind them we have Justin Gerritsen alongside Matt Alexander. He hasn't had the best of sessions there as Matt. I'm sure he's going to be hoping that his race goes better. Then at the back of the grid we have Toby Ward in 15th place. Jakub Szymanski will not be taking to the grid. So you know what I'm going to ask you now, Ed? Based on qualifying, can Håkon Grebstad hold on to this and win this race? Or is it going to be a different story now they're actually on track fighting for position?
I think Kane Halliburton is a very good race. We saw that at Silverstone. He was very quick, but then got involved in a few unfortunate incidents. If he can keep his nose clean and get off to a good start, I think Kane could be a shot to win the first sprint race of the evening. But I think the main focus for both of these drivers is just get through the sprint safely and focus 100% on the feature later on, because that's where the big points are scored.
Yes, indeed. 10 points for each of the sprint races, which we're going to have now. Then after the break, we will have the feature race, which gives you 30 points for a race win. That is going to be potentially the big championship decider, because it's unlikely that Kane can get 30 points clear before the end. He's 13 points ahead now, and every position difference in this race is only 1 point. You get 10 for first, and then you get 1 for 10th. So you only have 1 point less for every position less down the order. Let's see what they can do then. The championship is all up for grabs, and it's the final round of the NEVO British F4 Series, and we're underway from Oulton Park. And as the drivers make their way over the crest and the lights go out, the top 4 all making a very tidy start. Kane Halliburton looks down the inside of Håkon Grebstad, goes for it straight away. He is not leaving anything on the table. Side by side down the avenue, side by side through the kink in the right-hander in towards Cascades. Is Kane going to hold it around the outside? He's going to try to. It's very, very close, but he's run wide, and Håkon Grebstad has the lead. Håkon Grebstad stays in front of him for now. He's got Kevin Zemstra in 3rd, then Jesper Sandström 4th. Jesper Sandström's actually just got ahead of his teammate there, side by side round Island Bend. That's brave, and Jesper Sandström's off. Sandström is off the circuit. He's going to go hard into the wall, and that is his championship surely over already. Unbelievable stuff, Ed.
Yeah, but it's still alive for these two. Håkon Grebstad is going to be very glad to have gotten through those first few corners in the lead of this race. Already, though, Kane Halliburton moving to the left, moving to the right, feeling the wing mirrors of Håkon Grebstad as they make their way now into Knickerbrook. Sort of going through the right, then the left, then the final right up towards Clay Hill. Still Håkon Grebstad leads, and he's going to want to try and build a bit of a buffer if at all possible, because he knows Kane Halliburton will be harassing and harrying him from now until the checkered flag.
He will indeed. He's going to be putting that pressure on corner after corner. Still nice and close all through the field. We've got Matt Alexander here right behind Justin Gerritsen a little bit further down the pack. Very tidy start for everybody, but Jesper Sandström is the big talking point there after that incident. He went around his teammate Kevin Zemstra. Oh, Matt Alexander's just gone off, and he's off and in the barrier, and the wheels come off it. That is the end of his race, surely. They do get a fast repair, but not sure whether that was down to contact. At least he didn't do what Russell Spence did in the 90s in a Renault Laguna and put it over the fence there. He had a brake failure and basically jumped the inside curb, cleared the gravel trap, hit the tyre barrier. Somehow nobody was hurt. It just had a bit of bruising, did Russell Spence, but it was a massive accident. And unbelievably, Alan Menu was already in the gravel trap as well, waiting after he'd had a lock-up in qualifying. So, yeah, pretty scary. This is Justin Gerritsen going off at turn 1 at the very start of the race. I think he's just going to run wide on the exit. Yeah, he is. And then we had, of course, the off from Jesper Sandström. So he's going round the outside of his teammate here into Island Bend. All the way around, just a little bit too quick. Understeer on cold tyres maybe. Gets completely sideways and biff into the barrier. And that is the end of that one. We've just had Simon Price go off the road, unfortunately. Side by side here with the number 38, Justin Gerritsen. Oh, he's done the exact same thing as Simon. Exact same thing, but is he going to get it stopped? He is. Fantastic stuff. Nice work, that. That's always a difficult thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he went slightly earlier at the point into the corner. It sort of went before he was actually sort of at the critical point of the turn-in phase. He was able to realise it wasn't going to work. He had to go wide, got onto the brakes and slowed it down just in time before the gravel trap and the barriers. But now in the lead of the race, Håkon Grebstad, fastest lap of the race so far. But, well, not by much, and you can see that Kane is gaining a lot through Old Hall. That could be a moment to really think about. Is if Kane is quick coming out of Deer Lee and maybe in towards turn 1, if he can get that run, maybe try a little bit of a move down through the avenue.
It's fantastic to see a championship coming down to the final races as well. Always exciting because there's a lot riding on this. Oh, Dennis Gallo's off. Dennis Gallo has had an issue in the background, and he has done what Jesper Sandström did, and he's put it in the wall. Not sure if he can get going again, and no, he has gone back to the pits, unfortunately. So that is one of the Spontex CDM Esports cars out, and Raymond Walpott has had an off. That's on the exit of the Shell Oils hairpin, but he's managed to get going once more. But yeah, looking at the championship standings at the moment, Håkon Grebstad would only bring the championship gap down to 12 points, but importantly, Jesper Sandström would drop behind these guys by 54 points, which would mean he is out of the championship hunt, because after this, there is only 43 maximum points available. 1 for fastest lap in each of the remaining 2 races, 1 for pole position, and then of course 10 for winning the next heat and 30 for winning the feature. So 43 points still to play for, and there's only 12 between these two at this point of the championship. It's great stuff to watch. Across the line once more, we're nearly a third of the way through this race, Ed.
Yeah, and Håkon Grebstad is under so much pressure, just a tenth of a second as they cross the line, and oh, a little bit wiggly there again. You can see the run from Kane Halliburton as they go down through the avenue, but no room being afforded to him. He can't find a way past just yet and has to keep biding his time. But then again, he also realises finishing here, he only loses 1 point. He still has the championship advantage. He's still in the lead, even with this result. So why not just sit in behind and play it safe and see what might happen either in the next sprint race or in the feature. That is the key focus, I think, for Kane, is not to reveal too many of his party pieces just yet.
Yeah, he needs to just play the game, doesn't he, over the course of the evening. Justin Gerritsen, who we're looking at now, is almost the biggest mover in the field. It's actually Toby Ward, who's gained 5 spots from where he started. Justin Gerritsen has gained 4. Kimber Hayt has gained 3, but John Barnes wants to change that and make it just 2, because he is going around the outside into the chicane. Oh, he's overdone it as John has to cut the chicane. His fellow John, Mr. Tustin, goes through. That's now 3 places gained for him. Thanks very much, he says. Well, that's just how easy it is to overdo it into the chicane at the bottom of the hill there. You're pushing so hard all the way down, and then you're slamming on the brakes and going straight on. Now, behind these two, let's not forget Kevin Zemstra. He's doing a great job in 3rd at the moment. He only joined the championship as of Silverstone last time out, and he's showing these guys that he's very quick. He's told me earlier today, actually, just how fast Kane Halliburton is, and he didn't mention how quick Håkon Grebstad was going to be around here, but he's certainly the man to beat. Hans Polman's. Oh no,
Oh,
massive contact. That's Philip Russell in the middle of the road.
He needs to get out, he needs to get off the racing line, make sure his car's predictable. There's no sense dragging that car back through there. He's just going to be a hazard on track. I think the smartest thing for him to do is just to call it quits there. He's going to carry on, of course, but by doing so, he might pose a bit of a threat to all the other drivers out on circuit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what caused that. Was it a tap? Was there a tiny tap from Hans Polman's as he dived to the right? Oh, there was. Tiniest of touches. It's a strange impact as well.
Philip looked to be just moving over to the right-hand side of the track a little bit too much. I think he was trying to squeeze across the nose to force the Ferris Sim Sports car of Hans Polman's tight into the corner. But I think it was too much. I'm not sure if we can see it from a better angle there, Chaz, because it looked slightly like it might have been Philip Russell's fault there. You can see here from the chopper cam, he's just moving right, trying to squeeze. And I think, sadly, that might be on Philip, you know?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I'm not sure. We might have to agree to disagree on that. I'm not sure who's moving it all, but let's not forget the start-finish straight. Oulton Park is not really a straight. It's three bumps that slightly go to the left. It's a bit of a nasty one. You'll see it here as well from Håkon Grebstad. Slowly curves around to the left. It goes over like 2 or 3 crests before they even get to turn 1. Look at that. Almost identical times from the first two. 1:29.463, 1:29.464. Incredible by our 2 race leaders. That is just how tight it is in this championship between this man, Kane Halliburton, and the guy he is chasing right now, Norwegian Håkon Grebstad. Both absolutely lovely blokes. Both would be very deserving of winning this championship. And I think right now we've got a hell of a fight on our hands. Unfortunately, Justin Gerritsen's race has just taken a turn. He's just come into Lodge and, whoa, looped it very quickly on the brakes. But that's a nice quick recovery, that, and he gets straight back on with the job.
Yeah, he said his race took a bit of a turn, a bit too sharp of a turn there as the rear end brakes traction snaps around on him. Oh my word, yeah, that was a very big moment indeed for Justin Gerritsen, but held it nicely. And actually, he didn't lose out of position. I think he might have subsequently lost one out on the run down into Old Hall to his teammate Raymond Walpott. But he's actually just taken that back now that I've said that, because I think Raymond Walpott has just had a moment.
Yeah, Raymond's just been off the road, actually, when you mentioned that. He's just gone a little bit too hot into Shell Oils, has he? Or has he gone off on the exit? Yeah, it's on the exit. Oh, if I had a quid. They don't let spectators up there, and it's no wonder. I mean, you'd be absolutely pooing yourself if you were stood out there. Now, we've got traffic here. Now, Dennis Gallo and Kane Halliburton, they don't really reference the fact that they're teammates that much, and I was going to say Dennis isn't really going to hold Håkon up into Kane. He's just going to get out of the way nice and fairly. Fastest lap of the race goes the way of Kevin Zemstra in 3rd position. So, whoa, Kevin throwing the car around. He's trying his best to stick with these boys in front, but all he's got at the moment is just a good view of what's going on. He's not really as involved in it as he'd like to be. You can get a slowdown penalty if you're going too far out there, you know.
Well, this is interesting, actually, Chaz, because Kevin doesn't have a championship to fight for. He's just here trying to take race wins. You saw him join the championship last round at Snetterton and do exactly that. Is he going to try and do the same here at Oulton Park? And what knock-on effect might that have for this championship? Håkon Grebstad and Kane Halliburton in a championship fight, scrapping away for the lead of the race. A lead that you'd imagine Kevin Zemstra will want for himself. But is he going to insert himself into this fight for the championship just to take it?
We ride on board at the moment with John Tusting, part of the Only John's franchise of Boosted Motorsport. He's got his nose down the inside of Kimber Haight, who says to him, go on then, I dare you, try it, nibble away on that right rear wheel, sunshine, see what happens. Manages to get away with it, but we need to go back to the front because this is so nose to tail, it could change at any single moment. I think Kane Halliburton, as mentioned in the YouTube chat by Jerome, I think that's Jerome Lamy, he's just saying that Kane is just biding his time. There's no point going for a risky move. Like you said earlier, Ed, very rightly so as well. He's only losing 1 championship point with the situation as it is right now. The gap's actually opened up to nearly half a second in that last sector. Kevin Zemstra going very wide. They've now got Matt Alexander just in front of them. He's getting his air time in. And I'm wondering, yeah, he's going to move over down the back straight here. Careful of the grass, sunshine. He's going to let the leaders go, or is he? He sort of showed them that he wanted to move over, but didn't slow down by enough to let them through. I think this is going to have to be the case of moving over either mid-corner now or on the exit, and Håkon Grebstad is getting held up, admittedly, there behind him. Now Kane Halliburton's potentially got a chance. What's going to happen here then? This has suddenly got very spicy, and I don't think Matt Alexander wanted to get involved in this one. He's going to be waving out the side saying, I'm sorry, boys, I didn't mean it. But here we go, Ed. Here's the move on. What do you reckon?
It's going to be very brave around the outside into Nurburgring. We're going to see late on the race from Kane Halliburton. He touches the grass. Does he go wide? Does he get collected? Just about stays ahead of Kevin Zemstra through that melee. You have to say, through the chicane. Drama that could have ended in tears is, oh my word. Don't hit each other, boys. Boosted Motorsport going side by side. Tusting on Barnes. On Bahate as well, actually, up at the front of that, which was, I think, what kick-started it all. But now, for the first time in this race, Håkon Grebstad, bit of breathing room, and all of a sudden, it's Kane Halliburton looking in his rearview mirrors and Kevin Zemstra.
Yeah, Zemstra, well, he actually didn't get past Matt Alexander down that back straight, you know, into the chicane. Matt was still in front of him, and then Matt nearly collected Kane Halliburton because he was slow partway through. He went deep into the chicane, and then it all went to pot from there. It was a very scary moment. We've had an issue for Justin Gerritsen. Raymond Wolpott has gone back past his teammate again. These two are having a fantastic dice between the pair of them, just overdoing it every so often. Whoa, they nearly both overdid it then and went straight on. Dennis Gallo also had a moment. I think he's gone wide on the exit of Lodge. Yes, he does. He manages to keep it all together after that. This is still going on. Only Johns versus Kimber Haight.
Look at that, the little quick run through Island Bend, and all of a sudden, is that a look up the inside, or is that maybe just the normal line that Kimber Haight takes very wide on the entry, where those other drivers like to sort of go in early and get on the camber early, get the car hooked up through the apex, just brushing against the curb on the inside and hoping you get a nice slingshot by getting on the power nice and early in the exit. I mean, it might work out here as John Tusting very late to the inside. He's going to have to be very brave on the brakes. Kim affords him the space, and is he going to try and get a switchback manoeuvre all the way through Knickerbock? Not all white as they make their way up towards Clay Hill. It's still Bahate ahead of Tusting, ahead of Barnes.
It's fantastic racing.
Well, still ahead of Zemstra here, Chaz, trying to extend his advantage now by half a second, so he's getting some good pace behind him.
We might get another lap, you know, after this, because, I don't know, I think this may be the final lap of the race. It's going to be very close, but look at them using up them incident points. That poor runoff and that poor curb. It's incredible stuff, though. Great to watch. All these guys pushing the limits now, especially out of Cascades as well. That's such a scary corner to try and push the limits. Even Tusting is completely sideways there. Now, Tusting comes up as green on our overlay software, and Barnes comes up as blue, but they're blue and yellow cars, effectively. So, thanks for the help, boys. But look at this now. Kimber Haight has a bit of a poor run. And again, though, the slipstream just isn't strong enough. Here comes your race leader, Håkon Grebstad. Since that moment, he's had a bit of an easier run of it, hasn't he, to be honest, Ed? It's fallen into his hands.
Yeah, it really has, but I mean, there was a bit of a scary moment, didn't he, when he was having to pass the back marker of Matt Alexander, but like you mentioned, it did seem to work out in his favour in the end. You've got to think, though, if Kevin Zemstra was able to get ahead of Matt Alexander, was maybe a little bit closer to Kane Halliburton as they came into that chicane, maybe we would see a different car in second place, maybe we'd see a different car challenging, maybe even in the lead of the race. You never know. As still the Johns scrap away in behind Kim, who'll be very pleased to see all of this unfolding behind him. We do, though, have the checker flag out, and this man will claw the championship back, but only by 1 point. The gap is still now 11 points, I believe, Chaz.
12
favour
points.
of Kane Halliburton. 12 points in favour of Kane Halliburton. But will it be 11? Because starting on pole for the second sprint race will, of course, be Håkon Grebstad.
Will indeed. Oh no, John Tusting's mucked it up at the final corner. Kimber Haight takes 5th place. Hans Polmans was 4th. John Barnes gets 6th. John Tusting 7th. Raymond Wolpott is going to come through in 8th. But what a fantastic win that was by Håkon Grebstad. Great performance. Awesome defending all the way through. Kevin Zemstra was really strong as well. Just missed out on getting 2nd place overall. The Go-Go Gadget guys both gained 4 places each in that one. So too did Kimber Haight. Toby Ward's going to be the biggest mover in the field, and he gains 1 point from that one. Jesper Sandstrom is going to complete the race, so hats off to him for the commitment. He's still going to get this one completed, but unfortunately now he is mathematically out of the championship fight. Kane Halliburton now has 176 points to the 164 of Håkon Grebstad. We have 43 points still available, ladies and gents, so this could still change everything.
Completely wide open, this championship. I absolutely love it. This is probably one of the closest championship fights we've commentated on for a while, Chaz, and what a feeling it is. You can sense the tension in and around this Discord and on track as well. Håkon did everything he needed to do in the first sprint, but the second one is fast approaching. I wonder who's going to be favourite for that.
Well, you never know. You never know. Let's have a quick look at some of the results then. We'll just recap exactly how that one all panned out. Håkon Grebstad takes the win by 0.7 of a second to Kane Halliburton. Fantastic drive from both of them, though, and as well Kevin Zemstra. Hans Polmans gets some strong points in 4th place, with Kimber Haight in 5th, so 2 Flemish Sim Sports cars in the top 5. Then it was the 2 boosted motorsport cars of the only Johns, John Barnes and John Tusting, and then the 2 Go-Go Gadget racing machines of Raymond Walpott and Justin Gerritsen. Toby Ward makes it 3 boosted motorsport cars in the top 10. While Simon Price finishes 11th for Spontex CDM Esports. The last car on the lead lap, as we saw there, was Jesper Sandström. Dennis Gallo and Matt Alexander were 1 lap down each, with Philip Russell and Jakob Szymanski not finishing the race. And I've been corrected, and I did change it on my sheet. I was just about to bring this up, actually. Jakob Szymanski mentioning it's 42 points now, not 43, basically, because the way I've separated it on my little spreadsheet to figure out who's about where in the championship, I had to put the pole position point in the feature race because there's only one of those. So if I would have put it in where the heat races are, it would have said there was 2 of them left, and then would have obviously given 2 pole position points. I hope that makes sense. But right now, it is time for a bit of warm-up, and there's not really going to be much going on out there on track. You can see the look down here from the pit lane into turn 1. But if you just give me and Ed just a couple of minutes, we will be right back with you here on Chaz Draycott Media. We're just going to take a quick break, get a drink, and we'll be back with you for the second heat of the night. See you in a few. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott and Ed May here for the final 2 races of the NEVO British F4 Series. We're here at Oulton Park, and what a place to be for the finale of this championship. After the first race of the night, we have now 12 points between Kane Halliburton and Håkon Grebstad, 176 to 164, and there are still 42 points available on the board for the guys to score. So it is going to get very, very spicy in these remaining heats. The next race of the night is going to have a grid that is determined by the finishing order from race 1 as well. So we're going to continue exactly where we left off. The drivers are just lining up on the grid just now, and we'll quickly take you through it because they are going to fill it up double time. Håkon Grebstad and Kane Halliburton on the front row. Then it's Kevin Zemstra and Hans Polmans next up. Following them is Kimber Haight and John Barnes. Then it's John Tusting and Raymond Wolpott, Justin Gerritsen and Toby Ward on row 5, followed by Simon Price and Jesper Sandstrom on row 6. Then it's Dennis Gallo and Matt Alexander, and Philip Russell will line up at the back in 15th position. Ed May, what is going to happen at the front? Is Håkon going to hold on again, or is Kane going to be a bit more aggressive with this one?
I think we might see a slightly more aggressive Kane. You know, he's going to try and go for it and see if he can get a bit more of a comfortable buffer coming into the feature race, because that pressure is going to start to mount now after Håkon's performance. He got on pole in qualifying, won the race, and I don't know if he as well got the fastest lap in that race as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't go the way of Håkon Grebstad as well. But we'll see. The lights are coming on just now.
They are indeed. Race 2 of the evening here in the NEVO British F4 Series at Oulton Park is underway. Looks like another tidy start from the front row. And, of course, Kevin Zemstra. The 2 Flemish SimSports cars stick together. And once again, Kane Halliburton is down the inside, giving his intentions straight off the bat, side by side between the 2 championship protagonists down the avenue in towards Cascades. This is where Kane Halliburton lost out last time, and he lost the position and had to settle for second. It looks like the same has happened again. No, he's got the overlap this time. He's going to be on the outside for Island Bend. This is going to be one of the most important parts of the season, this next left-hander. Håkon Grebstad's on the inside. Kane slots in behind him. He tries to get a cutback. He goes for the outside line into the Shallow Oils hairpin. That is absolutely unbelievable stuff by Kane Halliburton. Very gutsy, but somehow Håkon Grebstad stays in front. Raymond Wolpott is off the road, but he's going to be able to continue. At the front, they are nose to tail head as they come over Hilltop.
Here we go then, battle for the lead yet again. These pair have been inseparable all season long, and it's going to come down to this now. Hard onto the brakes in the first lap as Kane got the overlap. He's going to have a little sniff down the inside. The space is just about afforded by Håkon Grebstad, but he stays ahead. Brilliant defending driving. All the while, Kane Halliburton was under massive pressure from Kevin Zemstra, but he got a little bit crossed up over himself and had to drop back. And now Hans Polmans, he's on a bit of a charge right up behind the Alcantech driver, but they do manage to eventually sort themselves out.
Oh, that was a big off. Justin Gerritsen's off the road in a big way. Somehow doesn't hit anything down there at Druids, but that was a big old off that. I'm not sure who was around him and where, but there was cars seemingly scattered all over the road at one point. No, it was just literally him on his own. Wow, it looked like there was cars going everywhere on the first look at it, but no, that is not the case. Raymond Wolpott has gone off the road again, but after the first lap, it is Håkon Grebstad from Kane Halliburton. That's way too wide for my liking. Kevin Zemstra still third ahead of Hans Polmans, then Kimber Haight, then John Barnes. These guys are all really glued together, actually. Great view of the top 6, and John Barnes can see everybody very close in front of him onto the second lap of this race, and it's only 15 minutes long, so Håkon Grebstad is going to have to work very, very hard indeed, because Kane Halliburton knows there's not long of this race left to go already, and he's going to be pushing. Here
we go. Jesper Sandstrom covering the inside, able to make it work out for him, but this is very close indeed. Is up in front. Håkon Grebstad, Kane Halliburton, the 2 of them battling away yet again, but this time not as dramatically as we saw on the opening lap. Kane, I think it had to be the first lap if he wanted to get in front, and now he's going to, I think, already bide his time and see if the opportunity presents itself on a silver plate for him. It almost did in that first race with a back marker, but for now, Håkon Grebstad will carry on in the lead of the race.
And both doing a wonderful job for it as well. This is exactly what you want to see from guys that are fighting, you know, no mucking about, nothing reserved, just getting on with it. Absolutely getting on with it. And they are amazing people to watch. Look at them. It's like one 8-wheeled Formula 4 car. Zemstra is 1.4 seconds back. Hans Polmans and Kimber Haight sticking with him at the moment. John Barnes as well, actually, all over the back of Kim. He's doing a great job. Looks like Kim's having some sort of hardware or network issues at the moment. He's blinking in and out a hell of a lot. He's on and off on our timing screen, but he's not always reappearing on the road physically. Matt Alexander's in a bit of a fight as well. He's behind Philip Russell, who's trying to recover after that earlier incident. We've also got Simon Price in 12th position, not too far behind them either. Toby Ward's a few seconds back from them, so something's gone on there. John Barnes has got past Kim Bahate now, so whatever hardware issues Kim is having is clearly causing an issue to his race. But at the front, this is just unbelievable, Ed. Look how close together these pair are all of the time. Great respect and really good awareness from the two of them.
Really great. This is some excellent driving. They're so cognizant of the fact that they don't want to come to blows at this late stage of the championship. They really want to win this in a nice, clean fight. No contact at all. It seems to be going just that way. I know I tend to have a bit of an effect, though, so I am firmly gripping my wood effect desk. I'm hoping that none of that comes to fruition. Back on Grebstad. A little bit wide, though, isn't he, coming out of Lodge? And is that going to maybe open the door for Kane to see a move into the first corner? Not quite, but he has just done a purple lap 4 or lap 3. Start lap 4. Very quick indeed is Kane, and he's really piling the pressure on.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? Just how close they can remain to each other, both absolutely on the limit, but still really, really exciting racing from the two of them. And they are actually 1.6 seconds clear of Kevin Zemstra as well. Oh no, Hakon Grebstad's overdone it to the hairpin and Kane Halliburton goes through. Oh, he's done it. Kane Halliburton's patience pays off. Let's have a look. Hakon's just gone in that little bit too hot, snatches it sideways on the brakes, and it's fantastic, fantastic driving to save that and not let it go all the way around. But now Kane Halliburton leads the race, and that 1 point difference from earlier is now going to go the other way.
Yeah, so it's still a net gain, theoretically, from Hakon Grebstad when you consider the fact he got that extra point for pole position. So he's still been able to reduce the deficit this night as it stands, but of course he wants to try and reduce it even more to put himself in the best position coming into the all-important sprint race. How many times have we seen championships decided by 1 point in various categories in motorsport? Plenty of times, and you can be certain that Hakon Grebstad doesn't want to be the bridesmaid tonight. He wants to be the bride. He wants to win the championship, and he's going to try and do everything. I mean, he's taken out a lot of time already, actually. He did drop back quite a substantial amount, but has brought that time down quite quickly.
Yes, indeed. We're going to see these gaps and these positions really have an accordion effect about them. Jesper Sandström now up 7 places into 5th position. He's passed John Barnes. Philip Russell's gained 6 spots as well. He's having a good comeback drive through the field. But yeah, Kane Halliburton is really getting reeled in again here, you know, by Hakon Grebstad. Really tells you that it was maybe the slipstream holding them together in the first race, because Hakon has got such incredible pace around here. We saw that he was, what, 4/10 clear in qualifying, something like that? It was ridiculous. And again, he's all over the back of Kane already. This is amazing stuff. If they finish where they are right now in this race, I'm not sure who got the fastest lap point in the first race as Hakon pushes a little bit too hard into the chicane.
They were side by side into the braking zone there. Hakon Grebstad tried to make it work around the outside, and Kane said, right, you go the long way around, see if you can make it. And evidently Hakon wasn't quite able to get the overlap through the left-hand section and had to concede the corner, concede a lot of time as well. That gap now 8/10 yet again in favour of Kane Halliburton. Look at this scrap though, Philip Russell trying if he can to find a way through on Dennis Gallo. Dennis, who's been maybe not showing the same amount of form he did from his debut at Snetterton, but he's a very good racer, good racecraft as well, so Philip needs to have his work cut out, and running a little bit wide is not the way to do it.
No, it's not. It certainly isn't. Just pushing that a little bit too hard. It's easy to do when you're chasing the car in front of you. The gap for the lead has now gone up to around 3/4 of a second again, you know, so it is fluctuating a lot after that moment for Hakon Grebstad. Kevin Zemstra's on for another podium here. He's having a good evening of it so far. I'm just waiting for confirmation on who got fastest lap in the first race, because obviously there's another championship point to go that way there. So the gap is either 11 points. Well, after that race, it's either 11 or maybe even 13 if Kane got the fastest lap point back. Raymond Walpott is off the road and has a damaged car. I think that may be his race over, unfortunately. That's down at Lodge at the final corner. But wow, they are not giving each other an inch at the moment, are they? Not an inch. Jesper Sandström's on for just 6 points at the moment, so he will lose even more of them to these lead pair in the championship. Unfortunately, there's no mathematical chance of him winning it anymore, which is a big shame because he's not been in it for the whole championship, has he, Ed? He's been a real star to watch, though, when we have had him on our circuits.
Yeah, what was his debut? Was it Oulton Park? It was definitely not at the beginning of the season when we saw him, and it was...
Yeah, it wasn't Brands or Snet, was it?
No, I think it was Donington Park, but it was a very exciting debut from what I can remember. Was it him that was... it was one of them that was up there very early, very late on. I think it was Donington Park, and he's been a very exciting driver indeed, but unfortunately not going his way. Håkon Grebstad, fastest lap of the race, so that is a point his way.
And that means that they'd be equal on points from this race. They'd get 10 each. So that basically negates, even if he finishes second, that negates the fact that Kane is ahead of him, and they just go into this completely deadlocked with 11 points between them in the final round. And considering that there's a 10-point difference between first and fourth in the last race of the evening, that could go each and every way. Simon Price has had a problem here. Let's have a look at what's happened to him. This is down at Knickerbrook. Oh, just that weight transfer, the car goes around. Does well not to hit anything.
Speaking of the championship as well, Chaz, you need to consider that if we see Kane Halliburton maybe lose out and drop back into second place, see Håkon Grebstad maybe take the win, they'll be on 10 points. If they do finish 4 positions apart from each other, say Halliburton finishes 4th, Håkon Grebstad finishes 1st, they're tied. And then we'll have to go to race wins. And I think with the performances we've seen tonight, I think the amount of race wins this season has gone in favour with Håkon Grebstad.
I think it may have done, although there were a few race meetings where Kane won all of the races, and I know that Håkon missed a few meetings, so I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and confirm that, I suppose. There it is again, fastest lap of the race, 1:29.359. I tell you what, even if Håkon doesn't end up winning this championship, you can't say he hasn't given it absolutely everything in this final meeting. He's not been here for every round either. Let's remember that. He is an absolute star, and he is so quick, and he's really giving it to Kane Halliburton right now. Let's not forget that Kane is a man who on iRacing has nearly 8,000 iRating. He is incredibly quick, is Kane. He's so talented. He's such a lovely guy as well. He's very humble. I've watched him race for a long time. I actually commentated just for a laugh on him in Spec Racer Fords a few years ago. I say a few, maybe 6 years ago now. Unbelievable. But Kane is honestly a real class act, and for Håkon to be chasing him down like this, I know will mean a lot to the Norwegian.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what was the first round of the championship? It was just all Kane Halliburton, wasn't it, from start to finish pretty much that evening. He had a little bit of a hiccup in the final feature race, which is what saw him somehow leave that round, that evening, without maximum points, or without sort of leading the championship. But he's been so quick and really stamped his authority on it from the word go. But Håkon Grebstad, he's really developed into a very quick driver. He was already quick at the start, but oh my word, look at this up the inside. Jesper Sandström thought about a move potentially on Hans Polmans, but Hans had that covered, left him enough space. It's another fastest lap coming through for Håkon Grebstad. Those times are ridiculously quick, and now, well, they're pretty much nose to tail. And might we see Håkon try for the win? He's got to, hasn't he, surely?
Well, he's the one that's second in the championship. He needs to gain points more than anything else, rather than Kane, who could just let him sit there and not worry about gaining anything more, just making sure that it is a deadlock. And you can see that Kane's having to push the car. Look at the run that Håkon gets on the exit. He really focused on getting a good run out of there. We've got nearly 13 minutes of this race completed. I think we're going to get only one more lap after this one. And there he goes, Håkon Grebstad to the outside. They come down towards the chicane once more. Late on the brakes. He's going to try and carry the pace around the outside. He's not going to do it. He clips the grass, but Kane gives him the room. Nothing doing. 2 minutes to go here at Oulton Park. Kane Halliburton still leads this race. But boy, oh boy, Håkon Grebstad is working him hard.
Yeah, the white flag will soon greet both of these drivers, and they will know there is not much time left in them for them to battle it out any longer here at Oulton Park. what a venue this is for the final round of the championship. But, well, you're going to see a little bit more battling further back. Hans Polman's trying to hang on to 4th place. Jesper Sandström, look how close he gets through large corner. Gets the good exit as well, just about judging it right, and they come up all the way through the left-hander at Dearly. Again, Kane Halliburton was really quick that lap, a 30.1 as we go on board with Jesper Sandström. He looks up the inside into Old Hall. They go down the avenue, but that run around the outside is so strong.
It really is. A lot of speed carried there by Hans Polmans. He did a great job of that. His teammate Kimber Haight has dropped way down the order. Down the inside, and off goes Kane Halliburton, and he's going to go in the wall. Kane Halliburton is out of the race at Oulton Park on the final lap, and Håkon Grebstad has the race lead. My, oh my. I did not expect that one.
And are they gonna go into the final round tied on points now? Are they gonna go into the feature race tied on points? Because Kane Halliburton is suddenly gonna lose 10 points, maybe even 11 with the fastest lap going the way of Håkon Grebstad. And I don't know if there was contact there, Chaz. It looked a little bit squirrely on the way into the corner, but I think Håkon Grebstad was just about fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the contact caused him to go off. I think it's just one of those corners. We've seen a lot of drivers do it tonight without contact where they've gone wide. And Håkon Grebstad, well, he's put the pressure on and he's forced the error, I'd have to say. And he's now going to go into this. Now, if he didn't get fastest lap in the first race, we've not had it confirmed yet, he will be 1 point behind. But either way, Håkon Grebstad wins 2 out of 2 at Oulton Park. Unbelievable drama. Kevin Zemstra second. Jesper Sandström third. What a drive that is from 12th on the grid. Hans Polman's 4th. John Barnes is going to be 5th. Dennis Gallo started 13th on the grid. He's going to finish 6th. John Tusting 7th. Philip Russell started 15th. He's going to finish 8th. Boy, that was lively. That is going to go down like a cup of cold sick with Kane Halliburton, I'm sure. But my lord, you cannot doubt Håkon Grebstad. I don't think there was anything bad about that one. Because like, even
no, either. If we see Chopper Cam, there's a little bit of a touch there, but he goes up the inside, leaves space on the exit as well.
Yeah.
I think that might be a self-inflicted injury there by Kane Halliburton. We'll see here from this view. Yeah, and that is going to be the worst kind of news for Kane. The worst.
Absolutely. He has a crash while his main championship rival takes the race victory. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And
he might try and argue that you don't go up the inside through there, but I mean, we've seen drivers do it all evening long, haven't we, Chaz? Go side by side through that corner. It might have been not the most of an overlap, but there was still an overlap. He had his wheels, his front wheels aligned with Kane's back wheels, didn't he? Into the turning in point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like people when... I don't want to bring it up because it's one of the things I hate most about motorsport in the last few years, but the whole Verstappen-Hamilton thing at Silverstone, you know, blame who you want to for the accident. People that were saying you don't go down the inside at Cops. It's a flipping racetrack. You go down the inside wherever you flipping want. You know what I mean? There's no certain places on a track where you can and can't overtake. It's a racetrack. You will overtake wherever you want to. And hats off. Kane's in the YouTube chat saying, I'm just making it exciting. To be honest, Kane, fair play, mate. Fair play. I'm not going to lie, mate. No disrespect. I was expecting a full-on kickoff in the Discord. Like, what are you doing? What's going on? But you know what, Kane? Hats off to you, mate, because that is top stuff. Top stuff. Well, we hope you enjoyed that one, everybody. We're going to have a quick look over the result of that. Håkon Grebstad wins by just under 2.5 seconds from Kevin Zemstra. Oh, I've got music on, but you can't hear it. Jesper Sandström finishes 3rd, Hans Polman's 4th. John Barnes gets the top 5, good stuff for him. Dennis Gallo in 6th ahead of John Tusting, Philip Russell, Justin Gerritsen and Kimber Haight, who rounds out the top 10. Then it's Simon Price for Spontex CDM Esports. Kane Halliburton is classified 12th, a lap down, same as Matt Alexander. Then we have Raymond Walpott, Toby Ward and of course Jakub Szymanski not classified as finishing that race. Well, I tell you what, Ed and I certainly do need a break after that one. So if you just give us about 5 to 10 minutes, everybody, we will be right back with you here on Chaz Draycott Media, and we will have the final race of the championship coming right up. We'll see you in a few.
the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it go away?
Thank you very much for your patience at the moment, everybody. We're just loading into the final session of the evening. We've got another maybe 5 to sort of 7 minutes, so just bear with us a few more and we will be right back with you and get the final race of the championship underway. We can confirm, though, that Kane Halliburton got the fastest lap of that race just near the end. Håkon Grebstad taking the win gets 10 points, which means the championship gap is 2 points into the final race of the NEVO British F4 Series. Myself, Chaz Draycott, and the wonderful Ed May will be back with you in a few minutes, and we'll get the last one underway.
forget all the wrongs and every reason why we've changed. And there's a storm inside my head. It's getting me in trouble, baby, and I can't break away. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy.
Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott and Ed May here at Oulton Park for the finale of the NEVO British F4 Series. And would you listen to that? Absolute silence around the circuit right now. The tension in the air is unbelievable because the championship gap between Kane Halliburton and Håkon Grebstad right now is 2 points after a fastest lap each in first of the two races. In each of the first two races. And a pole position point for Håkon Grebstad, but a crash in race 2 for Kane Halliburton means that the championship gap has come down from 14 points to 2 with just one race left this season. Ed, we've been talking about the differences between the points and the certain positions in this final race. Obviously a lot more points on offer. What do these guys need to do basically to beat one another in the championship?
First thing is stay out of trouble. That has got to be the top of their priority list, is stay out of trouble, because if your rival crashes out, all that they need to do is finish. That's got to be priority number one. Then the second one is, of course, beat your rival. So Kane will have to beat Håkon, and Håkon will have to do the same to Kane. That is the only thing they can think about. They can't think about anything else. They have to think about, what is my rival doing? Where are they? Do I need to get a bit of a move on? Or can I be a bit more careful with the traffic? That's going to depend on where you are in the race. If you're behind, you need to be a little bit more aggressive to try and catch up, to try and get yourself up the order. As well, differences in strategy might come through. Drivers, either Kane might decide for an early pit stop to get some clear air, but then Håkon might also do the same. The alternative could be to run a bit longer and run the race with less fuel in the tank for longer. Basically run with a lighter car, helps you get more lap time. So we might see drivers try different tactics, but one thing is for certain, it won't be a boring race.
Very true indeed. Now, one thing to consider is the points differences in this. So, if you win this race, you get 30 points. If you finish second, you get 26 points. So there's 4 points between them, and then there's 3 points per position all the way back to 5th, and then it's 2 points per place all the way down to 10th. And then you can get points all the way down into 15th position. And only 2 points separate our two drivers, Håkon Grebstad and Kane Halliburton. So even if, let's say, Håkon finished 12th and Kane finished 15th, that's enough for Håkon to win the championship. However, Ed and I basically determined that we know they're probably going to get through into the top 5 of the race, and if they do that by the end, it's basically whoever finishes ahead, because there's 3 points between each position, and then of course we need to keep our eyes on fastest lap as well. So this could still,
that's not even that.
Yeah, it still could be 3 points if one driver finishes just in front of the other, but the other guy behind maybe gets a faster lap, or the guy in front gets a faster lap. This could go still anyway. We need to keep our eyes on this, and that's why I've developed a little sort of easy to adjust spreadsheet that will tell us all. And I am so excited for this, Ed. I cannot tell you. I mean, Håkon Grebstad, after what he's done tonight to claw this back alone, would deserve to win this championship. Kane Halliburton has
100%.
just been supreme all season, though. So, you know, either way it goes, we're going to have a deserving champion, and I'm sure a very respectful and well-earned second place as well.
Oh, both of these drivers deserve it. I mean, I know there's probably a tiebreaker of the amount of race wins, and then it goes down to second place, amount of podiums, but if they do tie on points, can we just give it to both of them? Honestly, it's been so close all season long. I'm not sure if either driver they might want the glory for themselves. They are racing drivers, of course, at the end of the day. But yeah, a maximum of 31 points on offer for the drivers. I mean, it has to be a favourite for Håkon Webstad all of a sudden now because of his pace all throughout this evening, and the fact that because of the scores coming into this round and the reverse grid system used for the heat races, we will have to see Håkon Webstad start ahead of Kane Halliburton, and maybe that could be the telltale difference maker coming into this race.
Certainly could, mate. This is going to be an amazing finale to what's been a fantastic championship as well. You know, we've only had 6 race meetings and it's just been so exciting. Honestly, hats off to Jakub Szymanski and the guys at NEVO for putting this on. And I'm happy to say as well, there will be a second series of Formula 4 action coming your way in the near future. But we're not going to go too much into that at the moment. We do also have the NEVO TCR series starting as of next week, next Tuesday. That starts. We've got the first round at the Nurburgring. Anyone that isn't subscribed to Chaz Draycott Media already should certainly do so, because you'll be able to watch all of it on this channel, and I'll be setting those broadcasts up in the next couple of days as well, so keep your eye out for that wonderful TCR action coming your way. And then, as I mentioned in the Formula 1 stream last night, I have another series to announce very soon that will be making its way onto Chaz Draycott Media, so keep your eyes out for that as well. Here we go then. The finale of the championship, and this is your grid. Simon Price and Kevin Zemstra on the front row. Matt Alexander and Toby Ward on row 2. Then it's Kimber Haight and John Tusting on row 3, ahead of Dennis Gallo and Philip Russell. John Barnes and Hans Polman's next up, with Jesper Sandström and Håkon Webstad on row 6. Kane Halliburton will start at the back of the field in 13th position. It's basically reverse championship order. Anyone could do this. What do you reckon, Ed? Because I think we're both as nervous as each other right now, mate.
13th for Halliburton. Is that perhaps an omen?
Oh,
you
don't.
Never know, Chaz.
Oh, don't.
It could be the sign of things to come. Here we go, though, Chaz. The lights coming on. We're about to go racing for the final time here in the NEVO British F4 Series. Here we go.
Lights are out and they're away. It's a fantastic start by Simon Price off the line. Kevin Zemstra alongside him, surely going to be going for the win here. He goes down the inside into turn 1 and gets it done. What are our championship protagonists doing? Håkon Webstad's already gained a number of places. On the left-hand side there off the circuit is Dennis Gallo. Looks like Håkon is boxed in a little bit. He's got John behind him. He's made contact. Håkon Webstad makes contact with the back of Matt Alexander, and off goes Jesper Sandström. Sandström's had a terrible night already, and it's just got worse, unfortunately. But wow, Håkon Webstad got lucky to get away with that there. He was boxed in on the inside of the corner, and he couldn't really go anywhere, to be honest with you. There was just that tiny bit of contact, and look, Kane Halliburton knows he needs to get on with this now. He needs to get pushing forward and go chasing after Håkon. He cannot let him out of his sight. But at the front, it's Kevin Zemstra. He leads Simon Price, Toby Ward, Kimber Haight, John Tusting, Philip Russell and Matt Alexander.
And here we go. We might see a change for second place as Toby Ward looks up the inside of Simon Price, and I think he's got the move done. In fact, actually, Simon Price is going to lose out on 2 positions as around the outside now goes Kimber Haight. Yes, he does. And all of a sudden, look at this.
Oh, no.
All the way up the inside. Oh, no, there's contact. They mount one another. Coming out of Knickerborough up towards Clay Hill, Simon Price somehow gets the better end of the stick as John Tustin finds himself in the gravel, but both of them seem relatively undamaged.
Yeah, they both managed to carry on. Håkon Webstad's already gained 6 positions. Unbelievable start for him. Kane Halliburton's gained 5. Håkon goes down the inside of Matt Alexander, and look at that behind him. Kane Halliburton's in there as well. Matt doesn't give all the room in the world to Håkon, and look at this. Suddenly Halliburton's all over the back of him. We have said it's literally going to be whoever finishes ahead out of these two. We need to keep our eyes on fastest laps as well, though. Kane Halliburton sits in behind Matt Alexander, nearly goes into the back of him. It's turn 1. Håkon Webstad's only just given the room. My, oh my. So close on the exit of turn 1. These are the tiny margins they're dealing with. There's contact, and wow, Alexander's off the road. There was an overlap, and he did close the door, unfortunately. But my God, Kane Halliburton and Håkon Grebstad have both been involved in contact now down there. And how they've got away with it without damage as well, I do not know, mate.
Well, it seems that the luck is firmly with both of these drivers tonight. You can see here, yeah, he just comes across the known of Kane Halliburton. I think the netcode actually allows the damage to be mitigated actually for Kane in that situation, as the cars seem to merge into one another. And yeah, the wrong end of the stick going away of Matt Alexander. He just came across the nose, didn't realise there was an overlap by the looks of things. But these two, yet again, inseparable. 4th and 5th. As it stands, though, fastest laps not either of these drivers away. So Håkon Grebstad will win the championship by 1 point as it stands.
Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. The fastest lap has gone to Kevin Zemstra so far, so nothing doing there. But yeah, it is currently 1 point the way of Håkon Grebstad if they finish where they are now. There is still a long way to go in this race. We're only 10% of the way through, 3 minutes in out of 30. But we have our two championship protagonists already right together. We mustn't forget Kevin Zemstra, though. What a fantastic return to Formula 4 cars he has had as well. He's been flying since joining the championship. Philip Russell now gets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:30.524. So he's done very well to nab that one. We've got Philip Russell in 3rd place. Kimber Hayes in 2nd. There's not much between those two, about half of a second at the moment. Now, I imagine in this current predicament, Kane isn't going to want to sit behind Håkon Grebstad either. He's not going to do what we saw him do in race 1, where he doesn't really throw a move up the inside or anything. And he can't wait around, really, because look at Hans Pullman's behind them as well, Ed. So there's pressure from forces out of their control here as well.
Yeah, it seems that pressure is slightly going to leave it there as Hans coming out of Shell Oil Hairpin does lose out quite a lot. And that allows Håkon Grebstad and Kane to focus on their own fights. As, oh my word, Toby Ward, is he going to just tap the cross? Oh yeah, just about. Does he keep it out of the wall?
No.
No. Clips it on the way through. Rear axle completely snaps, and that's it.
Oh, it bottomed out, and you can hear he saved it, and then he just, I don't know, I don't think he wanted to turn left as hard as he could, because it would have just maybe snapped the car the other way. And that was just after the Matt Alexander incident, so these guys would have been 5th and 6th if it weren't for Toby having that incident and going off the road. So that's another position given to them, but Kevin Zemstra leads, and then we've got this battle potentially brewing for 2nd. Håkon Grebstad into the pits.
That is very early.
And
doesn't want to give the toe.
Kane Halliburton gets the fastest lap point as well. Oh, this has just swung around. Is that for something else? Is there damage from the earlier incident that we just could not see? Because that was a very quick stop. 4 seconds. That's not too bad, actually. That's about right, isn't it? 4-second pit stop.
Yeah, it's about right for the fuel. It might need maybe a lift and coast, but he's got clear air now, and we know how quick Håkon is in clear air. When we saw when the position switched around, of course, when Håkon was 2nd in behind Kane Halliburton in that 2nd race, he gained so much time, didn't he? Which probably told us that while Kane was quick, he was the slower of the two drivers and has been kept close by the slipstream. So that could be a very interesting development here. Kane Halliburton now has got the quandary of what does he do? Does he come in right away in reply, or does he stay out?
Oh, I'm not sure, you know. I'm not sure. It's going to be a very nerve-wracking time, isn't it, no matter what goes on. So we're going to have to see. As behind, Kimber Hayes and Philip Russell have swapped around. Philip Russell down the inside. And the Go for the Gap racing machine goes into 2nd place. Lovely stuff from him as Dennis Gallo is off the road and out of the race by the look of it. The right rear is broken. Oh, Dennis has had a night to forget, hasn't he? Let's have a look. Is he just going to clip the grass on the outside? No, he's just got in too hot. Rotates. Oh, and he overcorrects. And just that kiss is enough to break the rear wheel. Well, they're fragile little cars, these. And we've certainly had that proven to us there, Ed.
I'm still processing what I've just seen from the pit stop strategy. You know, this could be super exciting as Håkon Grebstad just has a really blitzing outlap. Fast sectors across the board, and he's razzing it around, isn't he? He is absolutely going for it.
And Jakub Szymanski is saying he must have had damage because otherwise he can't pit before the 8th minute of the race. So, interesting. Be interested to see whether he's just forgotten that rule and whether that is something that's going to land him in hot water. It'd be horrible to have the championship decided by that, but at the end of the day, rules are rules. And they're there for a reason. We brought them in Formula 1 as well because we don't want drivers pitting in like the first 3 laps of the race because it just looks a bit daft. And I think that maybe Håkon might have forgotten about that. Let's not forget there was an issue between sessions with the fuel not being limited, and drivers have been given the trust to put the right amount in so they don't go the whole race without pitting. Maybe Håkon put less in, and I don't know. Just went really early, thinking that's how it's going to work, but forgot about that rule. Kane Halliburton goes through.
As well, though, he did seem to sustain damage in that early lap, and it is about a few laps before you have to come into pit and repair damage. So I think, I'm not sure what the rules are, but if you have to pit early to repair the car, I think you're fine. So maybe that might be his excuse. It's similar to how it works in Formula 1, isn't it, Chaz, where you have to pit after a certain amount of time, but if you pit as a result of damage, then you're fine to go until you
get cleared. Daryl Barrow in the chat, apologies mate, I missed your earlier comment. He said he did have a meatball flag, so he had to pit within the 3 laps of getting that damage, so he's had to come in. That could play into his hands. I mean, Kane Halliburton's had to work his way past Kimber Haight here. As it is right now, and I know that it's not obviously representative because Kane hasn't pitted yet, there is 15 points going the way of Kane Halliburton, and he would win the championship with 201 points if he has the fastest lap as well. So it's still going his way. Kevin Zemstra did an amazing job out front, nearly 3.8 seconds clear right now, having a whale of a time. He's had 2 podiums already tonight. And, well, he finished 3rd in the first race, 2nd in the second race, and now he's going to try and go one better and win the final race, Ed. It'd be a great way to round out the championship.
I mean, it really would, but we're seeing here Kane is stuck behind Philip Russell for the moment, and this is not going to help him or his chances, his desire to try and win this championship, maybe even win this race, who knows. Like I say, it's very tricky because he's having to stay out longer. He doesn't have that clear air. As Håkon Grebstad, purple lap, fastest of anybody. So that's 1 extra point his way, but the main key thing to think about is the amount of time that he's going to be gaining now. Just needs to continue to scrap, but now surely Kane Halliburton has a run. Maybe he's going to look to the inside. Is he going to get forced the long way around by Philip Russell? He's got the inside line now, and I don't know if Philip is going to fight this.
We hit a 3rd race distance as they go into the chicane, and Kane Halliburton is later on the brakes. And he manages to get into 2nd position. That means that he is on score for 26 championship points now. Håkon Grebstad on for 12 in 8th place. But let's not forget, pit stops still need to come into play here. Andrew McKinley in the chat saying he's not a daft driver at all. Then he is a great driver indeed. We certainly know that, Sunshine. Håkon Grebstad is a star, and the way he's turned this championship around after the early dominance of Kane Halliburton as wow, look at the sideways action there. You could see his hand fly up as he went for the opposite lock. Amazing stuff to watch as Håkon Grebstad is off the road, and Kane Halliburton gets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:29.8, so suddenly it goes back that way. Unbelievable. This is incredible, Ed. They're having a battle with each other and they don't even know it. They're 2nd and 8th on the track and they're about 20 seconds apart. This
is, well, amazing, isn't it? This is beyond excitement. So, yeah, like you say, these guys are fighting. We're getting so excited about the fight, but they're, 24 seconds apart from each other. They're about 20 seconds away from each other. As Kevin Zemstra for me blinks out for a moment, I thought he completely has gone out of the race there, which is going to be a worry if he disconnects. Won't be a worry, of course, for Kane Halliburton because he will then inherit the race lead. That is a little bit worrying.
Got the dots on the map actually that show you just how far apart they both are. The number 8 is Håkon Grebstad in 8th position. Kane Halliburton is the grey number 2 on that dot. He's just coming up here now into Druids as he goes up Clay Hill. Not quite accurate, is it? Shows he's already gone round the right-hander. Maybe it's a little bit delayed. But still, You've got Håkon Grebstad here, just coming out of the chicane apparently. Yeah, it's just to do with the distance of the lap, I believe. But they are still rather far apart on the road, it's safe to say. He's got the number 64 of Simon Price in front of him right now. Now, this will be an extra position, of course, to go his way. And he's not finding it easy to get past Simon right now. Effectively, Simon's helping his teammate by doing that. They both drive for Spontex CDM Esports, do Simon and Kane. Down the inside goes the Norwegian, and through he goes. That's another place gained. Some more championship points. He is now on for 13 in his current position. Well, very close so far. Very exciting indeed. Kevin Zemstra is having a whale of a time, as mentioned, at the front of this pack. 12 3/4 minutes of the race gone. We've got a bit of a moment now for everybody to just chill out, get into a rhythm, figure out what's going on around them. And then we'll just see how they develop from there, what extra sort of moves they make, what changes they make to how they are attacking this race. It can all change so quickly, even just a half an hour encounter like this, can't it, Ed?
It could go. I mean, it still could go either way tonight, honestly. I mean, Kane looks to be in the driver's seat, but he does need to make one more pit stop, or one pit stop rather, for all of this to shake out. I do think that Håkon Grebstad has probably got on away with things, because he did seem to pick up a bit of a hefty hit, didn't he? His car went fully front upwards into the air. It didn't seem to cause too much damage, but of course iRacing's damage model has been recently changed, and maybe there might be some things that give meatballs even though the car is perfectly fine. So that could be something that would maybe work in Grebstad's favour. But okay, this actually, Philip Russell, he gave a position to Kane Halliburton. He's actually lapping quicker than anybody. Fastest lap, the Go for the Gap racing driver.
Doing an amazing job. Absolutely amazing. Apparently, Hakon's lost 2 seconds to Kane Halliburton while he was stuck behind Simon Price as well. So it just shows you how much can go down the pan in just a couple of moments. Kimber Haight is not too far off the back of his teammate. Håkon Grebstad gets the fastest lap of the race back. So he's now on for 14 points, which brings the championship gap down to 14 points as well. Oh, we're going to be doing the maths a lot here, and we're going to be speculating a lot, but at the end of the day, that's why we're here as commentators, to talk you through it and to give an idea on exactly how this is all going to pan out. But Kimber Haight behind his teammate right now. We've got a nice view of these two Flemish cars as they go into the Hislop chicane at the bottom of the hill, then into Knickerbrook. Great viewing point if you're ever at Oulton Park. Fantastic place to see, because you get to watch the cars go around and out of Cascades as well, and then you get to see them go through the chicane, through Knickerbrook, and then up the hill. It's an awesome place to be. Oulton Park is an amazing track for viewing in general. There's certain places where you can't see a lot of it, but there are other places where you can see most of it. It's great. Jerome Lamy in the chat saying 29.3, that is a mega lap, and you're not wrong, son. You are not wrong at all there. He is absolutely on it. We've just hit half distance now, Ed, as Kevin Zemstra nearly ends up in Tarpoli. And, well, it's been an amazing drive by Kevin. I think Kane, with the most places gained so far at 11, just needs to prove the point and continue on doing what he's doing. 3 and a bit seconds back. There is the gap. Philip Russell, though, he's having a belter as well, isn't he?
Having a really good time. He's really just razzing it right now. I'm having a look at him. His lap times have been really strong. Grebstad's been sort of quick, but then had to struggle a little bit in getting past Simon Price. He's now starting to pull that time back. Philip Russell as well. He could still be part of this picture. He might come out just ahead of Håkon Grebstad after the pit stops, and might be the buffer between the two of them. Maybe go completely the opposite way, and all of a sudden Håkon Grebstad comes out ahead of Halliburton, and Halliburton's under massive pressure from Philip Russell, and they start fighting. So many unknowns yet, Chaz, but it's very exciting. I mean, Kevin Zemstra for sure is looking to try and run away with the lead of the race, but all the while Halliburton's reeling him in.
Yeah,
so we might suddenly see the championship fight be for the lead of the race on the very last lap.
Dependent on how many points are between them as well. Zemstra disappears for a second there, comes back on. The gap was 2.9 before, and I think it's come down a lot now, you know. Not so much, actually. It's not showing up on the left-hand side yet, but it is about 2.94 at the minute. Give it a few more moments and it'll update for you. But Kane is reeling him in. I think earlier on it was about 3.7 seconds. So there you go, 2.945. Over that last lap, it was very similar, actually. Kane lost a few tenths. Gained a few tenths on Kevin Zemstra. Not a whole lot, but it was Kane's fastest lap of the race as well. His fastest clean lap, anyway. 129.68. Philip Russell did a 129.69. Håkon Grebstad, 129.76. So he is still managing to reel these guys in. He has the fastest lap of the race, so he's getting 13 points for where he's finishing at the moment. And he's also on for an extra point for the fastest lap. Kane Halliburton currently on for 26 points for finishing second, though. That opens the gap up to 14 by the end of the race. But Håkon has pitted, Kane has not.
That was a really good run through Ireland. That was a textbook example. If you can watch that back and rewind it, that was exactly how you do it. Just chuck it in carries. It judges the exit to perfection. Just as much curb as you can take without unsettling the car and without getting onto the grass. His lines are really good right now. He is pushing hard.
Yeah, he's very accurate and very precise, isn't he? Every single corner, it just looks awesome. That is John Tusting at the side of the road going slowly. He's being lapped by these guys, so he's just making sure he doesn't get in the way. We've got a number of cars, actually.
Halliburton with a quick clap there, 29.4.
Oh, very quick
there from Kane. Personal best of the race, but Håkon Grebstad, he could be doing a purple lap time right now. Those lines would be great. He's been closing the gap down as well, actually, to Kane all the way through this stint. We're going to see as he comes up to the line. Looking very good for him.
Oh,
I'm going to come through. No, but it's still pretty much the exact same lap time.
He went a little bit quicker. It's a 29.49 for Kane Halliburton, 29.46 by Håkon. So even Kane's fastest lap of the race cannot beat the pace of Håkon Grebstad. Håkon's just had something else around here tonight, hasn't he?
He has definitely been driving like a man possessed. He has been absolutely brilliant so far tonight, but both of these drivers have been brilliant tonight, to be fair. Kane only had that one little hiccup through Island Bend, but apart from that, he has been faultless as well. You have to give him credit, and to be fair, both of them have been so strong all season long. I keep saying it, but either one would be a worthy champion. I mean, Kane's performances in the early part of the season, absolutely insane, boggles the mind, some of the stuff he was able to do. And then, of course, the latter half of the season when we all thought, the championship's a foregone conclusion, Håkon didn't. He was going on, and his performances as of recently, he's the driver on form. But can we see Kane Halliburton recapture that level of pace that we saw from him in the early stages? Look at that now, the 29.3 from Kane Halliburton. He's starting to reel in Kevin Zemstra a lot now. That was, 4-5 tenths gained on that last lap.
Incredible stuff. Let's see what Håkon Grebstad's time is. Fastest lap of the race is a 29.38, and actually Kane did a 29.35 there. It may not have been a valid lap, but it still would have been counted for fastest lap, I believe. 29.35 is, 0.03 of a second quicker than what Håkon Grebstad did. He did a 129.6 on that last lap as well, so he's actually lost a few tenths there. Kane Halliburton is turning it on right now. Kevin Zemstra, race leader, has just lapped Dennis Gallo, and now Kane Halliburton is only 2.2 seconds behind him. Now it's his turn to drive like a man possessed.
Both of these drivers are driving to their top levels. We know both of them, they have sort of different levels that they can find. Some of them, when they get on point, they can be unbeatable. But both of them tonight are at that unbeatable level. They are so quick, as getting out of the way for his teammate. That is Dennis Gallo, clearing a path, isn't he, really, for Kane Halliburton. And now we get to see, when are they going to come in for their pit stop, Chaz?
Yeah, indeed. We're over 2/3 race distance now. 29.8 for Zemstra, 29.6 for Halliburton. We wait now to see what Håkon Grebstad can do. This is literally just watching the timing screens now, I'm afraid. The race is quite spread out in terms of positions. We'll show you exactly where the cars are. You can see there's a few of them together. The top three are only separated by about 4 or 5 seconds, We've got Kimber Haight and John Barnes in the pit lane. Håkon Grebstad does a 29.8 that time round, so nowhere near as quick. Kimber Haight back out the pits already. Kevin Zemstra is just coming out of the Shell Oils hairpin. But now that Håkon Grebstad is starting to gain places, he's up to 5th. That's 17 points. So he's 10 points less than Kane Halliburton based on where they are currently.
I think one thing that's really worked out for Hakon as well, and will probably work out for him later on, is the fact that his pit lane time is usually a lot shorter. He seems to judge the markers just right for braking to get it down to the speed limit, and knows exactly how to exit the pit lane quickly as well. And those little sort of minute tenths can really add up. And I think, to be fair, he could go maybe a second quicker than other people. I mean, Hakon Grebstad's pit time, he was in the box for about 4 seconds. Pit lane time for him was about 24.3. Everyone else is in the high 24s, it's 25s. Simon Price just did a 28 through the pit lanes. So
they're in.
You can see now as Kane Halliburton, he's into the pits. So is, crucially, Kevin Zemstra. There won't be any clear air running. It's all going to be in the pit lane. And where is Hakon Grebstad? He is the highest placed driver cars that haven't pitted, and now we get to see Kane Halliburton up and running. His pit time was stationary for 4.6 seconds. And where is Hakon Grebstad? He's just coming through towards the first corner now. He's going to have a run, but is he going to get the position?
No.
Not quite. No, he's in behind Philip Russell.
So that's the top 4 as you see it right now. Hakon Grebstad, 4th place. Philip Russell, 3rd. Kane Halliburton, 2nd. Kevin Zemstra in 1st. We have 6.5 minutes left to decide the NEVO British F4 Series. Hakon Grebstad is going to be driving like more of a man possessed. And is Philip Russell going to let him go? That's going to be the question. And he is. Philip Russell's run wide. Hakon's gone through already. Incredible stuff. This is going to come right down to the wire now, Ed. There's only about, 2.5, 3 seconds between the 3 of them. Flipping heck. Strap yourselves in.
He's slowing down a lot. It's not just to let him through. I think Philip Russell actually had a problem. He is slowing down a huge amount. I'm not sure what's going on. Did he not get fuel on board in the pit stop? Seems like it didn't fuel him up, and he's having just to lift a lot, coast through.
2.2 seconds.
To get to the end. I don't think that's enough fuel, so he needs to make a second stop.
Yeah, look at the pit stop time there. 2.2 seconds for Philip Russell. Oh, man. He's mucked up big time there. But that does not change the championship facts, and that is Hakon Grebstad's using more than just the road at the moment. The lead gap, by the way, is 8 tenths between Kane Halliburton and Kevin Zemstra, just the other way around. So that's not over yet either. At the moment, based on where they are, with the fastest lap of the race going to Kane Halliburton currently. Actually, no, it's not. The fastest valid time is showing it's Hakon Grebstad's, 29.38. Kane Halliburton's fastest clean lap is a 29.49. So we're going to have to get Jakub Szymanski to confirm that, because I know that the results do tell you sometimes when it's an invalid lap if it's the fastest lap of the race. Not sure if Jakub will be counting that or not. That might be why we didn't see on our screens that Kane had the fastest lap in the second race, but it's been counted from the official iRacing result, which is fair enough at the end of the day. Yeah. But it's each to their own, however you want to do it. So based on what I can see on the timing screen at the moment, I'm going to give the point to Hakon Grebstad just in case, which means there are 4 points between them, and Kane Halliburton is in a position now to win the championship. Less than 5 minutes to go at Oulton Park, Ed. Let's see what comes out of this.
Yeah, and Kane is actually reeling in Kevin Zemstra by quite a lot, and the gap between the pair of them, between actually Kane Halliburton and Hakon Grebstad, is 2 seconds. Kane Halliburton's only 3 tenths back from Kevin Zemstra. If he wants a bit more of a buffer, he's going to go for this race win.
Yeah, he's going to have to try and just get those extra points on the board.
Because if he needs a buffer, he wants a car ideally between him and his championship rival. He has a good run now. The time is right for Kane Halliburton to try and seize the lead of this race. But he doesn't quite get it in towards Old Hall. They go, and still Kevin Zemstra leads, but loses out a lot of time on the exit. Is Dennis Gallo going to have an impact on this race? You can see him just ahead, about to be lapped. He's going to have the blue flag, and he gets well out of the way for this pair. Is he going to know that Hakon Grebstad is there? Slots in behind them. And I think he's probably ideally going to let Hakon Grebstad through on the next straight coming out of Shell Oils. Oh my God. I thought we had contact there, Chaz.
That was very, very close. That was very close indeed. Now Kane Halliburton is all over the back of Kevin Zemstra, and he needs, if he is going to battle him, he needs this to be done quickly. and painlessly, because Håkon Grebstad will take any opportunity to close back in once more. Kevin Zemstra has done an amazing job this evening. Philip Russell's gone off the circuit and come back on again, unfortunately, so his night is getting worse and worse. But look at this now. Kane Halliburton all over the back of Kevin Zemstra. He's having to lift. This is going to be painful for him. He knows that Håkon is going to be flying up behind the back of them. Look at the run that he's got out of Druids down towards Lodge. Zemstra is defending. He is not letting Kane have this easily. Kane's going to go around the outside into Lodge. He's going to try and maybe get a cut back. The car steps out. Gets a great run off the corner, though. I don't think it's going to be enough to try and go down the inside into turn one. Is it? Is he going to go around the outside? No, it looks like he's already backed out of it. Grebstad in the background has cleared Dennis Gallo. We have 2.5 minutes left to go. 2 more laps of Oulton Park to decide the NEVO British F4 Series. And we have about 1.6 seconds between our 2 title protagonists. Flipping heck. It's close, this one, Ed.
Yeah, 1.5 now, and Håkon is going to be getting a double helping of the slipstream, so that's going to come down. We might see them all nose to tail because they keep scrapping about. They're constantly fighting up ahead. Kevin Zemstra and Kane Halliburton, you know that Kane doesn't want to trip over the rear end of Zemstra into any of these corners. He's given the hurry up, but now look at the time. It's all of a sudden dropped down to just a second between Halliburton and Grebstad.
It is getting closer and closer by the corner right now, and hats off to these two because this is great battling. It's very respectful and it's very clean. Halliburton's later on the brakes. He's round the outside. He's now down the inside at the chicane. They both hold each other up a lot, and somehow Zemstra stays in front. Halliburton gets a great run out of Knickerbrook, but now Grebstad is less than a second behind the race leader. Halliburton to the right-hand side before Druids. Has he still got an overlap? No, he's not. He's getting desperate now, and this is getting very scary. We're going to have 1 more lap to go of Oulton Park, and look at this. Grebstad is only there. He's getting closer and closer. As our beloved Murray Walker once said, though, Ed, catching his one again, passes quite another, and Halliburton's gone for it. Is the contact, and he's around! Halliburton's around, and he's off the road, and Zemstra's into him, and Håkon Grebstad goes through and takes the lead. Oh, no!
Oh, there is drama abound, but there could still be drama yet, Chaz, because of that early pit stop from Håkon Grebstad. So no matter what happens, we might see this go right the way down to the steward's room. Who knows? But I can tell you what, Håkon Grebstad, he's done everything right tonight, and he is going to be, astonishingly this season, the first driver to get a grand slam of victories, winning in race 1, winning in race 2, and throughout this final lap, he is going to savour winning race 3 and potentially winning the NEVO British F4 Series.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Absolutely unbelievable. Motorsport is just an incredible thing for moments like this. It really is. And Håkon Grebstad is on his way down to the chicane once more. He's gone through the right. He's gone through the left. He's going to save a Knickerbrook. It's a nightmare of a corner at times. But he's going to give it everything he's got now as he goes up the hill. And he's going to go into Druids. We are going to look back at the incident. And we're going to see exactly what happened. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. And now into the final corner. Håkon Grebstad hard on the brakes. In he goes. And across the line to win the final race of the season. It's a Grand Slam, and on the road at least, it is the championship for Håkon Grebstad. The NEVO British F4 Series decided in the final 2 laps, and Hans Polmans is going to run out of fuel. No, Hansi.
Is he going to make it up to the line?
He does.
His teammate is closing in. He just about sees it. But both Flemish Sim Sports cars on the podium. What a result from them. Good to see them back in the championship for this final round. Good to see them getting a good result as well. Here is the heartbreaking moment for Kane Halliburton. He goes up the inside very late, just as they start braking. Does he run a little bit too wide? I think
it's very
difficult
hard
to see, but
tell.
I think he runs slightly into the left-hand side. I feel like Kevin Zemstra affords him plenty of space on the inside. We'll see from this aerial shot.
Oh man, that is hard to tell. I'm not sure whether it's Kane running wide or Kevin not leaving the room. You know, that's hard.
I think either way, you can't really afford blame onto one another. Both those drivers were racing hard. None of them did anything wrong in racing, did they? When you look at it, I think that's probably going to be a racing incident.
They were both just racing as hard as they could.
Yeah. The stewards might look at this, but I've got a feeling that's going to be a racing incident. They're both racing so hard, and they left nothing else on the table, did they? They went fully for it. But wow, well done to this man. Well done to Håkon Grebstad. He's been faultless all evening and comes through with 3 race victories. Amazing.
I mean, what an amazing, amazing time to do it as well for Håkon Grebstad. That was an incredible performance all evening, and this was the time to do it. This was the time to do it. Andrew McKinley's getting a bit carried away with himself, saying Håkon world champion. he's champion. It's British champion. It's the British series, but still, amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing, and he can be so proud of that. And what a performance it was, and certainly gave us our entertainment, Ed. There was not a single moment of that where we were, well, having a lull or anything. Unbelievable. Let's have a look at the race results and we'll try and recap whatever the hell happened there. Håkon Grebstad eventually wins the race by 15 seconds to Hans Polmans and Kimber Haight. What a great way to round the season out, though, for Flemish Sim Sports. 2 cars on the podium in the final round. John Barnes finishes in 4th, Philip Russell in 5th, and Simon Price for Spontex CDM Esports gets a 6th place finish. Great stuff for Simon. Plenty of points come his way. Jesper Sandstrom eventually recovers to 7th. And then we have the cars that were 1 lap down or more. Kevin Zemstra 8th, Dennis Gallo 9th, Matt Alexander 10th, Kane Halliburton 2 laps down in 11th, John Tusting in 12th, and Toby Ward is 13th. Wow. Well, we knew that there was going to be potential drama this evening, Ed, and I mean, that race was full of it. We had a lot of moments, even near the start, where drivers made contact with one another, and obviously, well, I mean, I've not really got many other words, to be honest with you.
I mean, well, wow. I think wow is certainly one of the words you can use, and I'll say it again and again and again. Wow, 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 wow. For what a fantastic finale we were treated to. On the last lap, what else would it have been? Very much decided there and there. And I don't know if... I don't know. I still think that Kane could have sat in behind Kevin Zemstra and still won the championship, but he's a racer. He wants that race victory to round out the season, to try and win the championship with a win. And can you blame him? I don't think you can. I mean, both of those drivers tonight, the championship protagonists, have given it everything. And I think about what happens. We have a worthy winner here with Håkon Grebstad. We do indeed, and we'll have a chat with him and see exactly how he's feeling right now. Håkon, I mean, what a night for you, mate. That must have been one of the most nerve-wracking nights of racing you have ever had, but to come away with it as champion, that must be unbelievable.
Oh, man. Yeah, you could probably tell from the first race that nerves were pretty high. Yeah, the nerves were pretty high throughout the whole night, to be fair.
I was going to say, especially around a circuit like Oulton Park as well. It's narrow, it's unforgiving, and I mean, it's not a place where overtaking is often at a very sort of high count, to be honest with you. What did you make of racing around here in general tonight? Because it's not easy, is it?
No, it's a very unforgiving track. Like, one tiny mistake and you go on the wall. Like, Kane kind of demonstrated for you in the second sprint there. And yeah, it's unforgiving and very narrow, so it's hard to really make it room and get past people.
And going into the final round tonight, with the difference in the points that we had, were you expecting to be able to turn it around at all? Did you have the confidence?
I mean, I kind of felt like I had pace, at least similar, you know, like me and Kim were really close on pace the whole night. But yeah, I figured I had a pretty good chance, but it was pretty much a 50-50 really, how the race went.
Well, we're certainly excited about everything that went on. Ed and I are sweating buckets after watching that one. You two had us on the edge of our seats for the whole thing. And obviously, congratulations from the pair of us. Let us be some of the first to congratulate you, because that was just epic to watch, mate. Is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to while we've got you as the new champion?
Well, you guys for putting on the show, and you know, everyone making this season happen and everything. And yeah, I don't know if you guys figured it out, but I ended up getting a meatball in turn 3, I think it was.
Yeah, we got it was Daryl Barrow told us in the YouTube chat. Bless him, he was informing us that was the reason for the early stop.
I was forced to, and I stayed out as long as I could to burn a bit of fuel so I could actually make it. I don't know if you guys were notified, but the fuel limit was actually not enabled for this race.
Yeah.
But I
saw that, but
it might have been like half a liter over, I suppose, on the stop, because I probably had half a liter more. But yeah, I had plenty to finish the race anyway, so I don't think it mattered.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's whether you gained anything from it, and to be honest, I think for that much fuel, you probably didn't. So it's probably not worth worrying about. But what an amazing race that was, though. I mean, we can't put it into words, but I'm surprised if you could as well. But still, great stuff to watch, Hakon. And obviously, with another Formula 4 season being announced, can we expect to see you back again?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I've picked out a good track for next season, so it should be fun.
Yes, defend your crown.
I'll try and stick around. I've got a lot of other leagues coming up, so we'll have to look at the schedule and everything. But if I can, I'll definitely be back.
Well, very well done, Hakon. Amazing stuff to watch, mate. You go and enjoy your evening, enjoy the moment, and hopefully we'll speak to you again in future. Thanks for joining us, mate, and congrats on becoming the new champion.
Thanks a lot, guys. See you around.
You can sense a bit of relief in the voice of Hakon Grefstad actually after that one, can't you? Because that must have been such hard work tonight to try and get up there and obviously just do what he could do and get the job done in the long run, because it wasn't just about doing well in one race tonight, was it? He had 3 that he had to attack with everything.
He did, and he gave it his all. And the first driver this season to win all 3 races. Absolutely outstanding, as we have another driver into the books to have a chat with you, Chaz, and it's a driver that had a very good final race.
He did indeed. Simon Price, welcome to the booth, my friend. You've had an interesting evening, to say the least, at Oulton Park. It's never dull around here in Cheshire, but what a fantastic final race for you. 6th overall, you must be over the moon with that one.
Well, yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, but why do you like this circuit, Chaz? It's horrible.
I live here.
No, don't get me wrong. It's a circuit I really want to love, but it is a hard circuit to drive, especially when you're 2 or 3 seconds off the pace. Everyone else is tear-assing past you. It's a tough circuit. And one little mistake is, I mean, in the second heat, I beached it on a curb. So,
oh man,
I had to absolutely floor it to get off, and then cook my tyres, and then that was it. I was falling off all over the place.
I was going to say, we realised that you dropped down and got stuck somewhere at some moment, so we just hadn't seen the actual moment because there was so much going on at the other end as well that we didn't really know where to look. But I mean, talk to us about your sort of development in this championship and in this car, because obviously when we first spoke, you weren't the most confident driver that I'd spoken to, but you were honest about it. You were modest when you got to Snetterton. Since then, you've developed and you've gained more and more pace and more confidence. Do you feel that as a person yourself, as a driver, when you get in the sim?
Yeah, in a way, but it comes and goes. It's like you don't realise it's happening. So I put in a lot of practice for this race, and I was very slow and I was off everywhere, and I just thought tonight was going to be an absolute disaster. But once I got out there, and just, that minute you fall to the back of the grid, you think, okay, just get around, and you relax a little bit, and it becomes smoother, and things start to improve. So yes, I'm seeing improvement, but I think I'm probably a bit impatient, and I'm not seeing enough fast enough.
Well, it's been good to watch, mate, at the end of the day, and Ed and I have mentioned it a few times that watching drivers develop when they come into a series as like brand new into a championship and getting used to it and getting quicker and quicker, it always makes them a bit more of an unknown factor, and I always find that quite exciting. So it's been good to see you running that, and of course running the Spontex CDM Esports colours as well. Could we expect to see you back in another Formula 4 championship as the second one's been announced?
Oh, absolutely. I've had an absolute blast. It's been, the guys have been really great. Given that I'm effectively a mobile chicane, they've been very understanding. Nobody seems to be holding any ill will about incidents. It's a very nice environment to be in. And I felt very honoured when you came to me and said, would you mind wearing the colours? I'm a little disappointed I didn't do a bit better for you, but it's been great being in the team.
Well, it's not result dependent at all, mate. It's just been good to see the car out there, see you enjoying yourself and getting the most out of it, and we look forward to having you in another season with NEVO. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to while we've got you in the booth?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, massive thanks to Jakob. He's been an absolute star organising things. Like I say, yourself for giving me the chance. My lovely wife for believing in me that I'm able to do this when I don't believe in myself. It's, that's a real boost. And again, John for bringing me into the championship, even though in the first and last of my races I've managed to have a little bit of a tangle with him. But yeah, it's been great.
Well, thank you very much, mate, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. And well, hopefully we'll see you again in the next season, Simon. Cheers for your time.
I'm looking forward to it.
Brilliant
Thanks, guys.
stuff, Simon. I just want to say as well before you leave us, you've been an absolute treat to watch. You've developed so well. I mean, I'm sure you won't mind me saying your first race wasn't great in the in the time at Snetterton, but you've developed so well from then. And I mean,
A very
Chaz
very
is-
reserved way to say it, Ed. The words I was
you've
using
developed
for it
brilliantly,
were
mate. Honestly, you've developed brilliantly, and I think NEVO is all the better from having you. Really good to have you
I
here.
appreciate that. Well, thank you very much, Ed.
Lovely stuff. Well, always good to have a chat with Simon, who, like I say, was running the Sponsex CDM Esports colours for this season. I was very grateful to have him on board. Another man that, well, we cut to him and he's in the pits, unfortunately, with a wheel missing after not having the best of starts. But still, he's been a great character to have in the championship, and hopefully we'll see him again. But Matt Alexander joins us in the box. Matt, you've had a bit of a roller coaster ride of your season so far, haven't you? Talk us through it.
Oh, it's been fantastic. And yeah, I think at the start, if you'd have asked me what I wanted to accomplish out of this, and really I just would have wanted to finish at least one race. I was starting this at such a low level. And I think the first race I managed to finish at least all three. And I think I might have even scored some points. So that kind of set my expectations of what I might be able to do. But I think I probably needed to stay in my box a little bit because I found that I'm not a great racing driver, put it that way. I can do some hot laps every now and again. But yeah, it's all the other cars that get in the way that cause me the problem.
Well, it's one of those things, I guess, Matt. Sometimes the hard racing that comes in these leagues as well. You get drivers that are more and more familiar with each other time after time, rather than racing against randoms every week in the official series. You can sometimes have that confidence to push against each other, but sometimes it sometimes backfires and we get incidents. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't be motorsport without it. What's been your sort of highlight of the season where you've been participating?
For me, the highlight has just been how brilliant everyone is to just, be part of this league and to chat with the drivers, and everyone's quite willing and happy to sort of share setups and tips and what works well for them, what doesn't work well for them. And I think just being part of that kind of virtual paddock really has been quite an eye-opener. As you say, you join the sessions that go every week and you're driving against randoms. You never get to see them again probably. And it's just nice to sort of come back and have a chat with the same people each week and see how they've been doing. It's been very inclusive, and I think I was just chatting to Simon then and Hakon as well. I think they're both full of praise for the league and everything that everyone's done and everything that everyone's brought to it, including you two guys. I mean, the commentary and the broadcast that you're doing every week is keeping people entertained and they're drawing people back. So, yeah, everything's come together to just make something quite special, I think, on this league. It's been really, really good.
Well, we're really glad you enjoyed it, mate, and we've enjoyed having you as well. Could we expect to see you back for Season 2?
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to try and do a lot of practice. I think I need it. But as I say, every time I get out the sim, I just ask myself the same question: did you enjoy it? And the answer is always yes. So as long as that keeps, as long as I can keep answering that to that question, then yeah, I'm going to come back every time, I think.
Well, we certainly look forward to it, Matt. Thanks again for joining us, mate. Is there anyone you'd like to give just an extra shout out to before you go?
Yeah, my wife who's next door, everyone at Finch's Park who's just been brilliant and just really jumped on board with this league. They've been fantastic and they've really got a lot out of this. And anyone on the UK fan forum as well who have been really, really supportive and really, really appreciate everyone that's come to give us a look and give us a watch. Really appreciate it.
Nicely said, mate. Well, great to speak to you, Matt. Thanks once again, and we will see you in Season 2. Have a good evening.
Cheers, Chaz. Thanks, Ed. Bye.
Cheers, Matt. Take care.
Well, there we go then, Ed. The season comes to a close, the broadcast comes to a close, and Hakon Grebstad puts in the work and manages to win on the road all 3 races on the final night. Well, like you said, we've not seen that for the remainder of the season, or the rest of the season. That was just a remarkable night of racing, and whether it gets determined or changed afterwards, we'll have to wait and see. I I hope it doesn't, but obviously as long as it's done in a fair way, whatever, I'm just glad that we got a great night's racing out of it on the road, at least, to finish this amazing championship. And the fact it's only been 6 rounds as well, it's just nuts, isn't it? It feels like it's been longer.
Do we need more and more of these little mini seasons, do you think, here for NEVO? Maybe get a few more different cars out there, maybe a few different areas as well. We've got a British F4 series. Maybe we do a American F4 series or a European F4 series going to all the tracks across Europe. Who knows what the future holds for NEVO, but you can be sure it is very bright with, of course, the TCR League starting up very soon indeed, Chaz. I know that's coming to Chaz Draycott Media.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see the TCR cars back out there, and I'm excited to see Formula 4 cars back on our screens once again. But there you have it, folks, the NEVO British F4 Series. We hope you enjoyed all of that, because we certainly did here in the commentary box. Thanks as ever to my wonderful friend Ed May. That was fantastic work once again, Ed. Always a good laugh working with you. Thank you to everyone at NEVO for sorting it all out, and of course Jakub Szymanski for being the head coordinator. This has been the NEVO British F4 Series. I've been Chaz Draycott with the wonderful Ed May alongside me. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again very soon, but for now, have a wonderful evening, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Have a good night.
Opportunistic, still rubbing panels as they go together. It's folded the wing mirror in on Gerardo's car. Misano is such a difficult circuit for these guys to get right. There's a lot of start-stop sections around the back. It's a very, very quick section as well.
It's a fantastic start from the 23. They're 4 wide there by the look of it.